Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about a single dimensional array and how to use this array in a C programming language. Before going to start to discuss about that array, let's we try to discuss first the declaration of an array. So the syntax for a single dimensional array is just like this: data type space array name, then with square bracket, uh, size of an array, and then semicolon. So data type which will indicate that which types of elements we are going to store in that array. Array name, with this name we can access that entire array, and the size that will indicate that how many maximum elements we can store in a one particular array. Let's we consider one example so that you will get these things. So here let me consider one integer type of an array, and that name of that array, it may be anything. Suppose we consider that ARR, and the size is a 5, so semicolon. What it indicates? It indicates that integer int is the data type of an array ARR, and the maximum 5 elements we can store in that array, and all these elements are of integer data type. Another one example, let me consider that float. Suppose array name is p, and in square bracket let me consider that it's a 10 and it's a semicolon. So what it indicates, that second example which will indicate that that second array is of float data type. It means that all 10 elements are of float, and the maximum how many elements we can store, the total 10 elements we can store in that array is there. So second thing is that how we can store that array element and how we can print that array element. So for that, let's we try to discuss one simple example, simple code. Let me start with this code with this header file stdio.h. Second header file include conio.h. Then as you know that our code is always starts with the main function. Okay, let me consider that one variable as I and one integer array. Suppose my name of that array is ERR, and suppose let me consider that that maximum size is a 5. Okay, so this is nothing but what? This is the declaration of an array. Okay, so this is about the declaration. So let me use that another one function which will clear that output screen. Then as we want to store array elements, so definitely my next code will be for the storing that array elements. Okay, so I will give that one message to that user, and that message should be like this: /n for the new line, enter array elements. So once this message is observed by the user on that output screen, so definitely user can type that array elements. Okay, then as you know that as we are going to store maximum 5 elements, so we need to ask to that user to enter that 5 integer value, so that one by one we are going to store in that particular array. As you know that the index of that array is always starts from 0, and the last element index is definitely the size -1. So how we can store that array one by one into that array? So for that we have to use a control loop structure. So here we use that for loop which will start with a 0, because the array index it always starts with a 0 less than 5, and every time that index value must be increased. So here I use that scanf function which will store that array element. This is the syntax. Here I use that %d comma ampersand. Name of array is arr, and in a bracket I say that it's I. So how this storing element will be executed here? When I is equal to 0, first element is going to store in that array. When I is equal to 1, second element is going to store. This scanf function will be executed for 5 times, and the 5 elements are going to store in that array element. Okay, let's we start to write the code now for printing that array element. Printing array elements. So for printing, that logic is also same like a storing of that array element. For the printing of that array element, we can also print that array element one by one. So for that we need to use that the control loop structure. So same structure it here. I is equal to 0, I less than 5, because we know that maximum 5 elements are present here. So this is the body of a for loop. And here let me use that printf. Here I can write %d comma arr, and then here I can write it's I. But before that, let me write one message so that user will be clear about what we are going to print. Here I can write array elements are. Okay, and after printing that array elements, we have to give that the space in between the any two array elements are there, and then our code will be end with the function gets it, which will hold that output screen. So this is about the storing and the printing of array element. Let me try to compile this code. Okay, one error. That error is oh yes, here I did the printing mistake. CLR SCR. Okay. Then once again, let me compile a double C. Compile, zero error, good, run. What you will observe, enter array element. So what 5 elements we need to enter? Let me type it, 1 2 3 4 5, and I will enter. So you will observe that output screen what that array elements you are going to store. The same things that code has display that array elements, means that we are successful to store that array element, also we are successful to print that array element exactly. Okay, so this is about the simple three things. One is the declaration, second one is the storing of array element, and third one is the printing of array elements. If you have that any doubt, let me know these things. Otherwise we will stop here.